You're listening to the UTalk Hockey Podcast with your hosts Champ and Denz.
What is up, UTalk Hockey Nation? I am Champ, this is Denz, and you are watching or listening to a very special episode because where are we, Denz?
We are in Avs Territory tonight.
We are in downtown Denver, Colorado for work. But we said we still got to record. So we brought a little bit of a setup, got some lapel mics so the audio's not as hot, but it's still pretty good.
Still pretty good.
Still pretty good. And we had to bring you all the exciting stuff that's happening in Off the Post. I definitely have some chirps that I got to share, and then we'll do Puck of the Week. So let's get started with Off the Post.
Let's do it.
Off the Post.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yippee, hi-yay. Doop, 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 doop.
All right, Off the Post. The first thing we got to talk about is actually what is coming up next week. What is coming up next week? The NHL
Draft day.
Draft day. Some people were like, well, where's
At
it
the
happening?
Sphere
Where's
Vegas.
At the Sphere in Vegas. But you don't have to go to Vegas to enjoy it.
But if you are going, let us know so we can be envious of you.
Yes, that Sphere is super cool.
Never been, but we're going to go to some event there soon. But anyways.
That's true. But the big news story, something that dropped recently that you got to go attend, is the actual Utah Hockey Club draft party.
Yeah, we had mentioned, hey, we should host a draft party. Heck no.
Delta Center decided, hey,
We're doing
Champ
this.
Denz, you guys, come on now. We're going to throw our own event. It's
Yep,
going
they
to be
called us
free.
up and they said, hey, do you mind
They
if we steal
did.
the Thunder? We'll do a free event at the Delta Center and you guys can just come along.
So if you don't have the details, we want to make sure you have it. So you can join at the Delta Center June 28th, free to attend. Doors open at 4 p.m. and it's free. It's just
And get there probably at like 2:30.
well, if you want a good seat, because it's going to be first come, first serve seating, just like the other event was.
Yeah. I would imagine they're going to open up the entire arena this time.
Probably.
Because we're all watching on...
Right. So you'll be able to watch the draft. Utah's pick number 6. And you'll
Yep.
be able to watch it on the Jumbotron. So it's either you watch it with all your hockey friends and the community at the Delta Center, or you can watch it at home on ESPN.
But you got to watch it at the Delta Center.
I mean, that's going to be super cool. Denz
Remember-
and I will be there.
Utah shows up, so
Utah
let's
shows
show up, guys.
What's exciting about this event, too, is there's going to be some games and other things that are happening, but there's also on-ice photo ops happening with players. So that's super cool.
Yeah, longer than Disneyland rides.
That's right. That's right. So some photo ops, just being able to experience the Utah team. And, go ahead.
But what else is going to be available at the draft party?
This is the biggest
This
news,
is the
I
biggest
think.
news.
Is Utah Hockey Club gear branded to, and this is another news piece we want to talk about. The colors came out. Was it rock black, salt white, and then what's their
Mountain blue.
Mountain blue. That's right. They're gonna have swag, y'all. That probably won't have sweaters, jerseys, but they probably will have hats.
It did say in one of the statements they won't have the
jerseys.
sweater jerseys. Yeah.
Yeah, but shirts, hats, inaugural season gear with potentially the one time that Utah Hockey Club is the name. Super cool. There's a lot of people chirping though, Denz, that they're like, oh, well, why didn't they just pick the name and get it for season 1? We've talked about this. It just takes too much time.
It does.
But then there's people out there chirping saying, well, other teams that have relocated did it. So I don't
We
know
are
who's
other
right, who's
teams,
wrong.
you know?
Right.
You want to get the branding right, but did you make it to a Avs store to do some recon work?
I did not see any Avalanche gear with a Yeti on it or a Yeti foot or just anything Yeti. So if it's Yeti, y'all, don't worry. There's no Yeti in Denver over here, okay?
Yeah.
Colorado Rockies, the Avalanche with no Yetis, Denver Broncos, okay? Relax.
Obviously, we aren't like Yeti fans, but at this point, you know what? The colors, just so you're aware, the colors are permanent. or at least from what we can decipher from the press release,
Yes.
they talked about the colors being the cornerstone and the foundation of this team. So pretty, reading through the lines, between the lines, like it's going to be the colors. So, after seeing that come out and looking at it, we're like, you know what? It's time to embrace it. We said we'd do it as things became official. Initially, I wasn't a big fan of the mountain blue, but it's growing on me. The brand's coming together.
You'll also notice our album artwork on our podcast, as well as our logo on website and socials, is now a little bit more branded towards the Utah Hockey Club, because we are UTalk Hockey and we love the Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah.
So had to do a shout out, update the colors a little bit. Super fun. So after the draft next week, what's happening July 5th? News broke out.
Yeah, they're going to hold a game.
A scrimmage
game.
Right?
With
So
rookies, potential players coming to the team. That is also going to be free to attend.
yes.
And they're just trying to bring up the hype and bring it all together.
Absolutely. Let me read you this. Team invites fans to attend free scrimmage at Delta Center on July 5th. Hockey Club announced that their prospect development camp will take place July 1 through 5, with on-ice sessions starting July 1st at Park City Ice Arena, and free to attend scrimmage at Delta Center that's open to fans scheduled for July 5th. So it's going to be a week of events, part of the camp. There's going to be media days with Bill Armstrong. That's one thing that Denz and I really want to try to get to, see if we can capture some insights from DMBA and others at the Grand America Hotel. So there's a little insider. If you want to go see some players or managers, go to the Grand America in downtown Salt Lake. But that's another thing that's happening, and another free event, right? If you want to start being a part of this, you can start attending these events, and you'll really start to hone in on being a Utah Hockey Club fan, which is super exciting. Which actually brings us to another point. Today, actually, if you're listening to this recently, the preseason schedule came out.
It did. I was a little bummed that it was only going to be 2 games, but
Well,
2 home games.
2 home.
For the
Sure. But there's an important aspect to this news that some of you may be affected by. I want to read this to you because this was in the article specifically. Utah's preseason game at the Delta Center on September 23rd is replacing the previously scheduled Frozen Fury game between the LA Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights. So
Frozen Fury's gone.
Frozen Fury's gone. So what happens? You probably want to know, right? Because I was even thinking about getting tickets, but I hadn't got them yet, and now it's going to be a preseason game instead. Refunds for Frozen Fury will be issued to ticket buyers at the original point of purchase, and the replacement preseason game against the Kings will be part of the Utah Hockey Club season ticket member package. So if you're a season ticket member, that's when you get the preseason ticket as well. Don't forget, UTalk Hockey is giving away 2 preseason ticket vouchers for one of those home preseason games. So make sure you follow, subscribe, and that enters you to win automatically. And then you can comment on the social post on our socials to get more entries. So that's going for a little bit longer, and we'll do the drawing in July. So stay tuned. But that's an important aspect, right? Preseason's coming up in September, and Frozen Fury is out. So go get your refund if you got the tickets.
A lot of news. We've been gone for 2 weeks.
I know, we've been gone for so long. But, in the special episode of our Denver trip, we didn't want to take too much time, but we wanted to get you the news and give you some time. Now, Denz, this is something that you're interested in, definitely. I mean, even people are commenting that Denz is dropping truth bombs about the downtown district. What are your thoughts on that? What's the news lately?
Just as an update, there's official renderings that have made it online to the new updated look of what the entertainment district will be.
It looks pretty cool.
It looks pretty cool. Obviously, it's just a rendering, but it's a concept. There's a lot of important dates that still have to be upheld. There's a lot of, the more the community's hearing about it, the more there's pros and cons that keep coming out, but at the end of the day, I will always wager on the fact that there's pros and cons to both sides, but this is a business transaction where both parties are responsible to make things happen. And there's even arguments online. Well, we didn't have to do the team. Well, that's kind of not the point. The point is that there is a team here. Ryan Smith was headed down south to the Draper Prison District to go build from the ground up. In Salt Lake City. He said, no, we want you to do everything you can. So, again, it's a negotiation, and as they continue to figure out negotiations, I don't think the negotiations are bad. Tax dollars has to go to improving things that are responsible for the government. Obviously, Ryan Smith is going to have a piece and a say in that as he's contributing billions of his own dollars. So we're just kind of waiting that out, but we at least have something to look at now and to see. And they're not finalized plans, so keep your chirping back until something becomes finalized. But they actually aren't going to open it up really for public feedback.
At first, what they've decided is they just want to create a plan by September 1st, and there's a mandate that says, hey, here's what has to be involved in this plan. Here's a couple of things or a few things that need to be involved in the mandate. Written for the NBA or NHL owner, Ryan Smith, outlines what the city and the owner have to agree on, including tax and financial plans, master planning, zone boundaries, area location, things like that. Increased sales tax, estimated to raise between 33 and 54 million per year. That's high, over the maximum 30 years, $1 to $1.62 billion over that time frame. Taxes collected citywide. Tax revenue can be spent on virtually anything in that zone. And then the city council has the right to reject, approve, or amend the agreement. And the state-appointed Capital City Reinvestment Zone Committee has the power to approve or veto the agreement. So it has to go through a few people, right? And it has to include a few things. So they're going to get that mandate all taken care of. But the renderings are cool. And, if it all passes and it all gets approved, then downtown SLC is going to look pretty sick eventually. So that's
a few years at this point.
Yeah.
It'll take a minute to
it'll
build
take a
everything
minute.
out, but
it'll take a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that concludes Off the Post. We're going to jump now into Chirpin' with Champ.
Chump.
Don't.
Chirpin' with Champ.
All right. Chirpin' with Champ. I got a lot of chirps. People are chirping the new name, the new jerseys, not the state, the sweaters, right? What they look like, Utah diagonal, blue, black, white.
Took me about 5 seconds after you said that to realize what you said. That's funny.
So lots of different stuff. So here's my first chirp that I had to share. It comes from Joey. Joey says this. Now, do you remember back when we had Ian, the hockey expert, 30 plus years? He built a Facebook page, and then he said, "Oh, these people they need to be hockey people, and it's not about promoting the podcast." Well, Joey's a very similar individual. He says this: "We need a new fan page. In order to be a member, you have to have played or at least followed hockey for longer than the announcement of this NHL team coming here has been around. This page is so full of dumb posts from people that don't know anything about hockey." And then later he has an edit and it says, "If you voted for Yeti today, you're out." So first off, Joey, why can't people start liking hockey?
That's how you grow a fan base, Joey.
I don't understand it. Why are people who played hockey since they were little or watched hockey since they were little so upset that people are actually enjoying the sport that you grew up to love?
Now, one thing I will agree with, there are a bunch of stupid posts in some of these posts.
You're right, there are.
But as hockey fans and players, we want to grow the sport.
Yeah.
So we got to expose the community to more and more things hockey.
Love, not hate, Joey. Come on now. Right?
Yeah.
So, come on. Just...
If you're going to give breath to the positivity.
Yeah, the positivity, not being negative. Oh, no, just come on. Be nice. All right. So I got another one where, remember when the Utah Hockey Club, when they got the new social, posted that the ink is dry. We've officially closed on an NHL franchise, right?
Yeah.
That eventually came, and they posted that. So there was a post on Reddit. Someone commented the exact same thing and said, the ink is dry. We've officially closed on an NHL franchise. But then it's a piece of paper, looks like SpongeBob's hands, and the only word on the piece of paper is the. Making a little bit of a mockery to the fact that they picked the name they did and they don't have a lot of stuff together. It's going to come in time. But I thought that was funny from Dumb Computer is your handle name. I don't understand why that's your handle, but
The. That's funny.
Right. That was funny. So in another Reddit thread, they say this. The whole thing is a rush job, obviously talking about the ownership and the switching of relocating the Yotes to Utah. It says the whole thing is a rush job because the Yotes ownership was jerking everyone around for too long. It'd be short-sighted to rush out the more permanent details before making sure it is what really went well. And then another guy comments after that fact and says, honestly, perfect, very boring like Utah. Come on, Matt McSparron, dude, it's not boring, right? It's just, it takes time. It takes time. Couple more here. So here's one. The Utah Hockey Club. This is from Adam Barris 3100. This is the biggest joke in the NHL. I hope the franchise burns to the ground and Ryan Smith becomes a spokesperson for Depends. What? What kind of post is that? It's
Depends.
like, and then he does follow up, depends what the survey says. But hoping that the franchise burns to the ground, I think, is a little much. And that Ryan becomes a spokesperson for Depends. I thought that was hilarious. One person said, Third Coast Toffee said, at least they can't poach players from other teams. UHC ... sounds like a medical facility. Yeah, I kind of, I can kind of feel that. Right.
Intermountain Healthcare.
And then the final one I'll share, and then I'll let Denz take one that he found. They should have just called it Utah has a hockey team. What do you expect from people that consider saltines with warm mayonnaise a dessert? Is that a thing in Utah? Saltines with warm mayonnaise?
Let alone a dessert.
Dude, listen, finger of shame. I don't know what you're saying, but I'm giving you a finger of shame. I've never heard of saltines and mayo, and I've been in Utah for a while. Have you?
I've never heard of that.
I don't know. But if we were called Utah has a hockey team, that would be lame. I agree with you on that one. All right. The final chirp we want to hand over to Denz because we're not doing Dishing with Denz today, but he found this one and thought it was super good.
So obviously we have a bunch of activity happening online and people joining groups and people thinking they shouldn't be part of groups. But Eric Lund, you dropped a pretty awesome chirp at everyone. That's pretty funny. Says, from what I've seen, SEG should have named it the Utah Whiners for this 1-year interim period, since that's what most folks are doing. At least that would have been a good representation of fan sentiment.
Sheesh, for real. Everyone just calm down, all right? We're going to get named. We're going to get swag eventually. Everyone's like, oh, it's a money grab. Oh, they have this inaugural name for a money grab. It's like, no, they're going to take the time they need. And in fact, the rights to creating a team and being able to get it in time for the draft, they missed the deadline. So they wouldn't have been able to do it anyway, right? Yeah. They had to go the path that they did. So they're going to take their time. So we don't want to be the Utah Whiners, but some of you are whining out there. So
yeah, let's not have that be a thing, guys.
Right.
The Utah supporters.
That sounds about as lame, though.
That is lame. But here's the deal, guys. You want to whine and complain about it, and when ticket sales don't happen and we can't get the players we want and create desirability because we have a whining fan base. We don't want to create that name for us.
No, we don't want to be Yotes 2.0.
No, far from it. And in fact, the Yotes last year in revenue
was the lowest revenue generating team in the NHL out of the 32 teams.
Yeah. So Utah needs its support to show up. I'm confident that every single one of you will show up. Not every single one of you. The people that matter will show up.
Now that's a chirp.
The people that matter will show up. Honestly, if you're complaining as much as you are in your whiner, you probably aren't truly a hockey fan. Because hockey is hockey, and you show up and you support it. Heck, you can have fun at Rookie League hockey. We do.
Oh, we have a blast.
Playing and or watching even other teams. So here's the deal. Stop whining and jump on board or just zip it.
Yeah. And Joey, if you're listening, you can let other people enjoy hockey if they weren't fans before.
Exactly. That's how the sport grows. I'm confident in this team and this community. Let's rally together. Let's stop whining about things and show up next Friday to the draft party. We're going to be there. Come take a picture with us.
That's right.
And here's the dealio.
Listen to this. I think I know where this is going. Maybe.
We have secured our own season tickets.
I knew it. That's what I was thinking.
to the Utah Hockey Club inaugural season. And we're going to give a bunch of them away as part of the podcast.
But the only time you'll actually know that we're giving them away is if you listen.
Watch, subscribe, right? So we're here to spread the love of hockey and give people a chance to watch. Obviously, there are many people that might end up doing the same. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have purchased. For those of you who are interested in purchasing season tickets and you're still waiting for your phone call, there's still quite a bit of seats left. But of course, at this point in time, a lot of the most desirable seats and whatnot are taken. But hopefully there's others out there like us that wanted to ensure that through this channel, through UTalk Hockey and through future sponsorships, that we send people to the game. And we aren't going to go to 41 games, 42 games, whatever it is.
We would love to, but we probably won't be able to do all of them.
Far from that time or ability. So
that's right.
We will go to some, but we're also going to spread the love and make sure that all of y'all get a chance to go watch. So you got to like, you got to subscribe. We do already have preseason ticket vouchers secured. And if that just goes to a crazy snag and not even those that already got the vouchers don't get it, then we'll pivot. We'll let you actually go to an actual
regular season game.
So
we'll make sure that whoever is the winner gets to go.
Yep, we're going to make sure it happens. So like, subscribe, comment. And what we mean by comment is tag other people in it. The more people you tag, the more entries you get.
That's right. Okay, well, let's finish the episode as we always do with the puck of the week. We don't have a puck.
That looks like puck. Hold it up. It doesn't look like puck.
Puck of the week.
I meant like sideways.
Oh, dude, you ruined it. Puck of the week. But actually, the puck of the week, I decided to give to another podcaster.
Nice.
Who did actually comment a very nice thing about a month ago when we started doing the podcast, the UTalk Hockey podcast. It's SLC Puck. You might see his stuff roaming around in the social channels and the groups. But SLC Puck said, nice show, fellas. So go follow and subscribe for the SLC Puck podcast.
They've been doing this way before hockey became this hype. And SLC Puck has been a longtime fan.
So we appreciate you listening to us, and we support you and sharing the good news of hockey. So you get the puck of the week, SLC Puck. And that concludes our special Denver, Colorado episode.
In no way, shape, or form is it in support
of the Avs. We support the Utah Hockey Club.
And still a little bit.
We do like Vegas too.
Vegas Knights. We can't just leave them.
I know, but
I am curious. Comment. Most of Utah hockey fans are going to be already fans of another team. Are you going to, I don't want to say give up loyalty, because I'm not going to give up loyalty to my Knights. But when it comes to the Knights showing up at the Delta Center and playing against the Utah Hockey Club, who are you rooting for?
You gotta root for Utah Hockey Club. You have to. It's the local.
It's the local.
But when the Knights are playing someone else, I'll cheer for the Knights.
Will you do the same? Or are you Red Wings or Edmonton all the way?
Regardless of your loyalties, hopefully you're sharing the love of Utah hockey, because the more love that they get, the better chance we have of NHL coming to Utah and staying in Utah.
Yeah.
Right?
They're here. We got to make sure they stay. And that's it from Denver, Colorado.
Pinky out.
Over out. Good night,
See
guys.
ya.